Hi class, here are the different key terms from the Developmental Theories, Life Course Propensity Trajectory chapter. These theories largely look at views of criminal career development. So developmental theories overall, which this chapter covers, have the view that criminality is a dynamic process, that it's influenced by social experiences as well as individual characteristics. So developmental theorists don't focus on a single criminal act, but on the creation and persistence of a criminal career over a life course. Life course theory is one of the developmental theories. That focuses, again, on the careers of criminals. It suggests that criminal behavior is a dynamic process. Again, like developmental theory, this is one of them. It's influenced by individual characteristics as well as social experiences. And they say, the life course theory people say that factors that cause antisocial behavior change dramatically over a person's lifespan. So they're focusing on the changes in criminality over the life course brought about by shifts in experience and life events. Disruptions during major transitions can promote criminality. And likewise, disruptions like marriage can promote, if someone finds someone to love and finds an enduring marriage, that can disrupt a criminal trajectory. I mean, disruptions go both ways. So people have many traits. They have social traits, they have psychological traits, they have economic traits, and people change over the life course. And family and jobs and peers, all that stuff influence behavior. So that's your life course theory, flying over it at 20,000 feet, from a great distance. I do want you to know about problem behavior syndrome. The problem behavior syndrome folks hold that criminality is but one of many social and personal problems faced by people who live a risky lifestyle. So the criminality is just part of a whole complex. These antisocial behaviors cluster together, and that includes family dysfunction, substance abuse, smoking, precocious sexuality, early pregnancy, educational underachievement, suicide attempts, sensation seeking. By sensation seeking, they mean, seeking, risk and danger, and unemployment, as well as criminality, are social and personal problems. So it looks at criminality as part of a whole constellation of things. Age-graded theory, another developmental theory, is Robert Sampson and John Laub's idea that there's a causal relationship between early delinquent offending and later adult deviant behavior. So, but that causal relationship involves the quality of relationships encountered at different points in human development. So when the quality of your relationships when you're a kid and you're having trouble at home, that's your parental relationship. At school, you're having, so at that point, when you're a kid, before you're an adolescent, parents and family life can influence you to delinquent behavior. And Sampson and Laub note that adolescents are much more influenced by, if you've got deviant friends you stick to, you're most at risk of committing crime. For adults, this is age graded again, behavior is influenced by elements of informal social control like marriage, family, work. You got a good job, less inclination to head toward criminal behavior. If you're struggling as an adult, that can really lead you in a bad way. So what's interesting about this, I just want you to know this term because it's kind of a cool idea, this social capital term. So you know how people build financial capital? They have savings, they invest their money, all that stuff. And that helps with success. But there's also social capital that you can build that helps with success. And by social capital, sociologists mean the positive, life-sustaining relations with individuals and with institutions that support conventional behavior and inhibit deviant behavior. So the age-graded theory people see at each stage you can build social capital. As a kid, building strong relationships with adults that are positive can give you social capital if you can't find it in your family. And they say that at certain points, turning points in your life, they use this phrase a lot in this chapter. It's a weird phrase, knife off from a criminal career. Knife off, I guess, meaning leave. But they say knife off a lot, and I'm like, what? What are they talking about? So there are moments that you're at a turning point in your life, not you, but a criminal person or a person contemplating criminal behavior, where with strong social capital, they can be supported to leave the criminal path. And I think that's just sort of an interesting idea. Now, this phrase latent traits actually goes with propensity theory, but I'll tell you what a latent trait is, so when I use the term in propensity theory, you'll know what I'm talking about. So a latent trait is a stable feature of a person, a characteristic or a property or a condition of a person, such as a person has defective intelligence or impulsive personality. That could be considered a latent trait that makes some people crime prone, tend to commit crimes over the life course. You might have some, not you, obviously, not you, but any person might have some characteristic that makes them more crime prone, and that might be a latent trait. So where that fits in is in with propensity theory. Whoops, sorry about that. Propensity theory suggests that human development is controlled by a master latent trait that remains stable and unchanging through a person's lifetime. So this hidden trait, latent, hidden, endures and directs behavior. So criminal behavior isn't shaped by personal change, but more by the criminal person has the latent trait, and then it's impacted by external forces like environment or opportunity. So people do not change. Criminal opportunities change according to the propensity theory people. Maturity brings fewer opportunities for crime, so there's that grown-ups commit fewer crimes. Early social control, they say, and proper parenting can reduce a criminal propensity, say the propensity theory people. The general theory of crime sounds much more promising than it actually is, but we need to know what it means. The general theory of crime is Michael Gottfriedson and Travis Hershey's idea that links crime to impulsivity and a lack of control. They say this one powerful latent trait, impulsivity, lack of self-control, that one trait they say that is really strongly linked to crime. And obviously you can see that there are flaws in that idea. Because not just impulsivity. Impulsivity is not the sole reason people commit crimes. Anyway, let us move on to the great title, great general theory of crime, great idea for a title, but the theory isn't really general theory. Trajectory theory. Those theorists say there's many ways, many paths into a criminal career, many different types of offenders, types of offending. Many subgroups in society follow distinct, different developmental routes toward and away from a criminal career. Some people start earlier in antisocial activities. Others begin later based on life circumstances. Unlike the latent trait theory people and the life course theory people, this theory suggests there are different types and classes of offenders. So those are the developmental theories for today. Have a great day, class. Take care.